Welcome to Pihowa Network, where we explore the vibrant tapestry of Africa's history, one country at a time. I'm your host, Lilian Wambura, and today I'm going to talk about Africa and its 54 countries and how it got independence. We are diving into the post-independence history of Algeria. Algeria shares borders in the northwest with Tunisia, in the east with Libya, in the south with Niger and Mali, in the southwest with Mauritania, and in the west with Morocco. Algeria's nickname, the land of the resistance, stems from its long and difficult struggle for independence from French colonial rule. Today, Algeria stands at a union of liberty, navigating the complexities of modernity while honoring its rich heritage and traditions. Algeria was under French rule from 1830 to 1962. By the mid-20th century, dissatisfaction among Algerians had reached a boiling point, leading to the formation of the National Liberation Front, FLN, in 1954. The FLN, led by figures like Ahmed Ben Bella, sought to end French rule and establish an independent Algeria. The Algerian War of Independence, also known as the Algerian Revolution, was a prolonged conflict between Algeria and France. It spanned from 1954 to 1962. It was a defining moment not only in Algerian history, but also in the border decolonization movement. In response, the French government under Prime Minister Pierre Mendès, France initially pursued a policy of negotiation and reform, offering limited freedom to Algeria. However, firm parties within the French military and settler community opposed agreements, leading to a brutal escalation of violence. In 1958, the conflict intensified with the return of Charles de Gaulle to power in France. The de Gaulle policy of self-determination for Algeria offered a glimmer of hope for peace, but negotiations faltered as violence continued. It wasn't until March 1962 that the Evian Accord was signed, paving the way to Algerian independence. On July 5, 1962, Algeria finally gained its long-awaited freedom after over 7 years of bitter struggle. Ahmed Ben Bella's government in Algeria was described by both ambitious reforms and significant challenges. As the country's first leader, following independence in 1962, Ben Bella sought to establish Algeria as a modern socialist state guided by principles of Arab nationalism and liberation. Ben Bella's government embarked on an ambitious agenda of social and economic reform, aiming to address the inequalities inherited from colonial rule and improve the lives of ordinary Algerians. In 1965, Ben Bella was removed from power in a military coup led by his former ally, Haouri Boumediene. Boumediene was a significant political figure in Algeria. Despite his authoritarian inclination, Boumediene's presidency oversaw significant economic and social progress in Algeria. However, his regime was also criticized for human rights abuses and political repression. Internationally, Boumediene was known for his advocacy of non-alignment and support for liberation movements across Africa and the Arab world. Under his leadership, Algeria played a prominent role in the non-aligned movement and provided assistance to revolutionary movements in countries such as Palestine and South Africa. Boumediene remained in power until his death in 1978. Chadil Benjedid was an Algerian politician who served as the third president of Algeria from 1979 to 1992. Benjedid's presidency oversaw significant changes in Algeria, including the adoption of a new constitution in 1989 that introduced multi-party politics for the first time since independence. In 1991, Benjedid's government faced a major crisis when the Islamic Salvation Front, FIS, an Islamist political party, won a significant portion of the vote in Algeria's first multi-party elections. Afraid the rise of Islamism, he dissolved the newly elected government and resigned from office in January 1992, paving the way for military intervention and the beginning of decade-long civil war. The Algerian Civil War, also known as the Dark Decade, was a period of violent conflict that submerged Algeria from 1991 to 2002. What followed was a brutal conflict defined by acts of terrorism, massacres, and targeted killings committed by various armed groups, including extremists, government forces, and parliamentary groups. The Algerian government, led by then President Chadil Benjedid, and later by the military-backed regime, declared a state of emergency and launched a crackdown on Islamist militants. It wasn't until the early 2000s that the civil war began to wind down, thanks in part of government reprieve programs and reconciliation efforts aimed at reconnecting former militants into society. Mohamed Badouf was an Algerian political leader and revolutionary who played a significant role in the country's struggle for independence from French colonial rule. Badouf returned to the country following a period of exile in Morocco. He was appointed president of Algeria by the country's military-backed regime, with a mandate to lead the country out of crisis. On June 29, 1992, just 5 months into his term, he was assassinated during a public event in Annaba, Algeria. Lamine Zoro took over and ruled until his resignation in 1999. Following democratic elections, Abdelaziz Bouteflika served as the president of Algeria from 1999 until his resignation in 2019. Bouteflika implemented policies aimed at ending the civil conflict, promoting national reconciliation, and rebuilding Algeria's economy. Abdelmadjid Tebboune assumed office on December 19, 2019, succeeding Abdelaziz Bouteflika. Algeria's political development was largely being influenced by events of its liberation war from French rule. That is where it gets its nickname, the land of the resistance. That is it. Thank you for staying with PIHOA Media Network. Please keep supporting us by liking, sharing, and above all, subscribing to this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you.